Here's Brian and Lance. We're live from 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is an STSpod.club production. I'm BT, and first of all, I want to stop all the rumors. I am not streaming the foosball tournament tonight. I will not be streaming the foosball. And Lance does not have a copy of the C3PO trading card that shows him with the heart on. Lance does not have a copy of that trading card. Lance is from Chicago, the home of the origin of softball in 1837. He's a snark of excellence, my partner in crime, your friend of mine, well, sometimes. Lance Levine, and Lance, we are the two tastiest treats in podcasting.
I could have sworn it was snacks. Is it not snacks?
I mess that up every time.
Every time. I don't know.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm in the Berry freeze-dried gummy bear studios here in Chicago. It's a weird thing. Freeze-dried gummy bears. They taste like Kicks or Tricks or whatever. So I don't understand it. But anyway, they're sponsoring the studios today, so I'm not questioning it. So
the science of freeze-drying, Lance does not understand it. Just so everybody knows that. So.
You know what I saw today, speaking of freeze-drying? A freeze-dried ice cream sandwich. So it was a single ice cream sandwich, freeze-dried, $10. And I'm not a cheapskate, but $10 for that? I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So this is like the new craze right now is the freeze-dried candies and stuff. So.
Yes. But believe it or not, we're in negotiations with a freeze-dried candy to do a sponsorship. Believe it or not.
I'm all for it.
Yep.
I'll be a big fan.
I know you will.
So we are in the WTF mode, my friend.
Let me do a little bit of business.
You probably got business. Yeah,
I got a little bit of business. Let me just talk about the listens or the plays, as they like for me to say. Let me just say, we have a buttload more plays this year than last year. That's all I'm going to say. We have 2 new Patreon episodes coming up every month. We do Shooting Star now and Best of the Best. They'll be on Patreon only. And if you're listening to this, you can listen to it free on Patreon. Any episode that features Lance Levine is free in December. It's his present to everybody in December. I'm sending him a bill for everyone that listens to it. Subscribe for free. You got to subscribe, but you can listen to a bunch of the episodes for free. How about the top 3 episodes in November? Number 3, which cracks me up because we released it in October, was Motley Crue episode 763, where Lance was a grumpy old man talking about he didn't like those sex songs. WTF 771 was number 2, and this is not going to surprise you, especially won't surprise you after we're done with WTF. It's Full Gear Dynamite, episode 775. It's our Full Gear review.
Dynamite.
That's right. Today's show, then we have the Christmas show coming out next week sometime. And then we just have Rolling into Memphis every Saturday up till January the 10th. That's right. And it'll be a new WTF. So we're chilling for the rest of December.
It's my birthday month. I do feel like I am compelled to let the listeners, the listens. I have to let everybody know. Birthday's coming up on Christmas Eve. That is why we're giving the gift to you of the free listens on Patreon.
You didn't even know I was doing that, but go ahead.
I didn't, but I'm gonna roll with it. So
get it started, man. Get it started.
We are in the WTF Control Center for November of 2023. That's an odd month, if I remember right. November's an odd month.
It's the N word.
November. Is it a prime number? I don't remember. But anyway. All right. So we're starting where we always start with the stipulation match. This was a widely covered match this time. So it was DDT's Ultimate Party card. It was November 12th from Ryogoku Kokugikan. And it was a sellout.
Easy for you to say.
Got that pretty good. Yeah. Sellout of 47.85 was the attendance. So it was the Iron Man Iron Man heavy metalweight title in the Nivea Cream Care Body Wash presents What Will Happen Fun Death Match. So I don't know how fun and death match go together. We have another death match we're going to talk about later. But anyway, the fun death match. So it was Hiromu Takahashi, my guy, as I like to say. I think you made up that expression, my guy.
That's right, my guy.
Hiromu defeats Kazuki Harada in this match. Then Hiromu's IWGP Junior Heavyweight belt defeats Hiromu himself. And then finally, Harada defeats the belt to end up with the title. So it was a bizarre match, typical DDT. So it was 2-minute rounds. They were using the spin the wheel gimmick. Round 1 was a musical situation death match where the wrestlers had to wrestle to the tune that was Round 2 was a handicap match. It was Harada and Yoshihiko, who is that sex doll that DDT uses all the time. So the two of them against Hiromu. Round 3 sounds like a Trammell Saturday night. It was blindfold hidden breast death match.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Saturday night at the Trammell household. So both guys were in blindfolds and bras. So once again, sounds like your house. So they had the object of it was to get the opponent's bra off, but neither one did. Round 5 was a dancing death match. So Hiromu finally wins the dancing death match. Easy for me to say. And then he lays down with his New Japan belt on top of him, and the ref counts 3. So the belt beats the title. And then Harada quickly grabs the belt, pins the belt, and then he wins the title. So the whole thing was just a cluster. Meltzer actually reported on that one in depth, but in addition to the site I usually go to get these matches. So, and then also one other match I want to talk about, DDT, the very next day, they ran something called Houseboat Pro Wrestling. 24 fans were on a houseboat. They did one match on the houseboat. So now DDT has done the train. We saw the bullet train. Now they've done a boat. Their next thing is they want to do an airplane. And they're afraid that they might, go, it'll be the plane ride from hell again because they'll go out a window or something. So, and I have a houseboat story that I'm going to save for Patreon.
Oh, wow. Cool beans.
At a tease in the business. So that is our stipulation matches for November, my friend.
We've had Tony Myers on the show, Chainsaw Tony. He does, he's in Japan currently right now. When he gets back, we're going to have him on because he's been involved in some of the weirdest matches and in the weirdest places. It looked like he was in, I almost said Chinese restaurant, but it wouldn't be a Chinese food restaurant. It'd be a Japanese food restaurant in the restaurant wrestling. So I'm excited. He knows the culture a little bit better than we do, and he'll kind of try to explain it. But we're going to bring him on just to talk about the WTF matches and what they do and everything. It should be really fun. I think they should have. I think they should have a match on an airplane to see how many people get arrested. I think that's what's going to happen with that match. Yeah.
I think they
should
do
fun stuff.
Blindfold hidden breast death match on the airplane. That's what they need to do.
Yep.
And film that. So, all right, at number 9, we have Becky's IQ is in jeopardy. So I like to call her Bexerty. I made this up. Bexerty appears on the November 15th episode of Celebrity Jeopardy. She takes on Kulky McCulkin or whatever the fuck his name is from Home Alone. And comedian Rachel Dratch.
It's sad that you don't know what his name is. So
it's Macaulay Culkin, but I like Kulky McCulkin, just like John Camp Cougarmelon. I like that one too. And Rachel Dratch, who is unsightly. I can't look at her, just like Brody King. I can't look at him either. Anyway, so the 3 of them for charity on Celebrity Jeopardy. Bex becomes the very first player in Jeopardy history to go 0 for 60 on the questions, fails to get one question right. So for the record, McCulkin got 25 out of 28. Shit. Very good. Yeah, exactly. Buff, we're talking about you later too. So Culkin gets 25 out of 28. Very good. Rachel Dratch, as ugly as she is, gets 20 out of 22.
Hey.
Unsightly.
You need to look in the mirror, man. You need to look in the mirror. Quit talking about people.
Becky goes 0 for 5. So the theory is her buzzer was broken or something. So anyway, so she saves face. She gets Final Jeopardy right. So they gave her a pity $1,000 for her charity, which was Connor's Cure. So, Bex, just the humanity at number 9. The IQ.
I'm just going to say Jeopardy was not always my best game, but I really think I could get more more
0.
answers correctly than she did. I'm just going on the record. That is exactly what. And I want to apologize to. We're
To
not
Rachel
making
Dratch.
fun of the way somebody looks. So there you go, Lance. Yeah,
Rachel Dratch.
whatever.
She's
I mean,
very
look
funny.
at that hairdo. You
right.
son of a bitch.
All right.
All right. Number 8.
Number 8, Logan pawns the belt. So on November.
Wait, before you go any further, you know this is work, right?
What? Really? It's not a shoot?
No.
Ah, okay.
I
Anyway.
figured you thought it was real. So yeah. All right. Number 7 then. No.
Can you
go
hear
ahead.
me
Go
rolling
ahead.
my eyes? Anyway,
Go ahead.
Logan pawns the belt. So on November 14th, our guy, the Maverick, Logan Paul, goes to a Jewish pawn shop. I can say that because the guy was wearing a yarmulke, so I knew he was Jewish. He films a bit for TikTok trying to pawn the WWE US title that he had just won from Rey Mysterio at, I think it was at Blood Money, the Saudi Arabia show. So anyway, he asks for $100,000 for the belt. So the Pawn Star poses with the belt with Logan Paul. Logan Paul yells at him to be careful with the belt. The guy squawks at the asking price. So Paul says, hey, maybe Cody or Seth Rollins or LA Knight can afford to buy it. The guy's niece comes out of left field saying she wants a date with Logan Paul. Doesn't realize he's engaged. The blasphemy, though, of the belt being used in this bit. So Paul says he's also had sex wearing the belt. He's ran a 5K wearing the belt. He showered wearing the belt, which he actually posted a picture of that. Despite Triple H, or I'm sorry, H3, we're insiders, we call him H3, or Paul Levesque. You call him Paul Levesque?
No, I don't.
Okay, H3. Back to that. So he's made rules that, you can't do this shit with the belt. That's the Page rule. I like to call it the Page rule.
I was fixing to say that's all I can think about is Page did more to a belt than this. Yep, so we all know that.
So Paul pawns the belt at number 8.
Oh, I love it because the guy acted like it was a shoot.
This was a work?
Yeah, he thought it was a shoot. Oh. That he was like, can you really get rid of that? And also, I'm going to have to apologize again. I want to apologize to the Saudis because that's blood money. He said something about a blood money pay-per-view. Man, you're not going to be with the snowflake crowd there, Lance, if you keep on.
My birthday month, I am
trying to be with the snowflakes also, man. Come on.
I am Teflon. It's
oh God, here we go. This is a crime blotter. Yep. Say the first one so I can say something. I can do the joke. I want to do the joke.
Tammy Sitch is in our crime blotter at number 7.
Oh, do I need to get that photo of Greg Valentine?
Yes, please get that up. So anyway, our crime blotter at number 7. We got Tammy Sitch. We got the aforementioned.
That is we're so horrible. We're sick of Greg Valentine photographs. Go ahead.
So Tammy Sitch, Buff Bagwell, and Nick Hogan are caught up in the Dragnet this month. So November 27th.
Well, guess what, motherfucker?
Yep. We all are. November 27th, Tammy Sitch finally sentenced to 17 years in prison in Daytona Beach, Florida.
I'm not laughing about that. She deserves it. She killed somebody, okay? So and she had many chances.
Many chances. So it's the DUI crash that killed 75-year-old Julian Lassiter in 2022. And thus, the lame Greg Valentine picture joke that was funny the first 2,000 times I saw it. God! Retired. Mercifully, horrible. Please let that be retired. I'm just so tired of that fucking joke. So then we got Buffs. Or did you want to comment on that one with the retirement of that picture?
No, I think I missed enough real quick. But Tammy, I don't even. We have featured her on this show every time she fucks up. So just go back and listen to the back. Look, I'm trying to get people to go into the archives, but we do cover it. I thought Dave did a fantastic job on showing everything so there's no question that Tammy deserves any time that she gets for killing somebody. So there we go. Yeah. And that Greg Valentine, that's not even funny anymore.
No. Like I said, it was funny the first 2,000 times I saw it, but Jesus, let it go already. So, all right, then we got Buffs on the stuff. So on November 16th.
Go ahead. I'll have to apologize for this too. Jesus.
Buffs allegedly on the stuff. How about that? He went to jail, so something happened. So on 16, he's arrested for driving under the influence of drugs. So I think that's a DWUID. I'm not sure. In Cobb County, Georgia, because of course, Cobb County, Georgia. So DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, who is sponsoring him, says his rehab is going great. I'm like, huh? What? He's had a few violations, but they weren't due to drug or alcohol relapses. I'm like, huh? What? I'm like, really?
No, here's the deal. That, believe it or not, the deal was that he was not arrested for the actual charge of that. He was arrested for a charge because he wouldn't shut the fuck up in court. Is what happened.
Yep.
He didn't act. He wasn't. And what happens is when you get people doing these headlines like we see all the time, it's really not. As soon as you see Buff, you think the worst, and I hate that. But I've had a couple friends work with Buff recently. They said he's straight, he's clean, he's done a fantastic job. So good thing about Buff, we covered him a lot too. But this time, I can't believe the stories. I'm not going to believe the stories, Lance. So there you go.
I did research it as best I could. So he says, yes, he was in jail. Yes, for 24 hours. It was over some people's heads. He says he was in jail for 24 hours. He acknowledges that. But he says it was because he either drove. I saw two different versions of it. Either he drove over a curb, or B, he didn't fill out a form properly about a flight that he took. So who knows? I will agree with you.
That's not what he said. That's another three stories. I'll take what I said back. He probably was drunk. So there we go.
I will say, I'll agree with you. He's guilty of being a pain in the ass. That's what I will say he's guilty of for sure. He's a pain in the ass. And then finally, Nick Hogan has another DUI. And the only reason I'm mentioning it is this because his mugshot, it doesn't even look like the guy. Yeah, no. I'm like, I picture Nick Hogan. I haven't heard about anything about this guy in many years. I'm like blonde hair, long blonde hair kid. He looks like Carl Anderson on a bad day right now.
Nothing like Carl Anderson.
He looks just like Carl Anderson. And Carl Anderson on a good day is not a good thing. So
That's a good-looking man. That's a good-looking
almost as unsightly as Brody King. But anyway, that's our crime.
You need to leave Brody King alone. That's a handsome man. Come on. That's a handsome man.
He's a good wrestler, but unsightly. All right. At number 6, here we go. We got Meltzer versus Alvarez in the overrun controversy, as well as the end of an era. So a two-pronged story.
So let's listen a little bit. Here we go. I got a little bit of the argument here.
Meltzer versus Alvarez.
Take a listen.
Like tell the DVR to go 45 minutes longer so you never miss.
Yeah, they probably should.
Okay, they don't do it. That's the rules. That's what they do.
Well, you know what? When we talked about this last week, Dave.
So what
hey,
we
listen.
Say,
we talked about this last week.
No.
Hold on. You told me last week that final quarter died. Am I wrong?
Yes.
Okay, it's going to do that again this week.
Yes, it is.
Are they happy with that? Or are they going to tell the fans it's their fault that they didn't record the next show?
They're not going to say anything what they're telling, but you got to learn. Think of that could happen with UFC too. That could happen with the NBA. That could happen with anything. The only problem is that there is a big difference because very few people actually DVR their sports.
How about that?
Yeah.
So people are DVRing this show, so maybe you should make sure that they get it.
I'm not going to play the whole bit. It was close to 12 minutes, though. Go ahead. I'll shut up. That's hilarious. David and Brian arguing.
The November 30th Observer radio show. They argue like an old married couple because Dynamite ran long, basically. So Dave's argument is record the next show so you don't miss anything. Don't miss anything running long. Brian says it's no excuse for this. It's a scripted show. It's the promotion's fault. It shouldn't happen. It's a fucking trivial topic. Who the fuck cares? But they fight like cats and dogs on this one, you know? So I will say, and I know you're going to give me shit about this, Dave is right. Live shows run long.
Dave's always right when Lance.
Always right.
Lance always right.
And here we go. I knew it was coming. But
he actually thought that
live
cap looked
shows
good on Dave,
run,
too.
Yeah, the cap was correctly worn, too. Live shows run long. Sports, award shows, UFCs. He's right. Everything runs long.
I agree with both of them, really. I mean, Alvarez, I can see because of what he says, it is a scripted show. So I understand that part. But Meltzer's right. You can't just continuously miss it and bitch and bitch and bitch. Set your recorder.
Yeah.
Record an extra 5-10 minutes or the next show after it. Yeah.
From the WTF staff, we hope that they patch it up. We hope that they seek counseling. And
I don't think there will be a divorce.
We wish them the best. So, and then the big story of the month with Meltzer is the 11/6 issue of the Observer. Dave tearfully announces that he will no longer be sending the print edition. It will be going in the mail, rather. It'll be going exclusively to online. So, the humanity of this, the
And it's on its way,
controversy.
Lance. The last issue
controversy,
is on
I
its
know.
way. Yeah,
So
it's
the
been
age
sent out.
jokes were just as bad as the Greg Valentine jokes on this one. The age jokes start pouring in on this. I have subscribed to the Print Observer since 1983, bitches. That's what I'm going to say. I prefer the print. No big deal. You know what I did? I bought a fucking printer. Problem solved.
1998 called, Lance. Get with the program.
I simply prefer the print edition. No big deal. I don't think it's a big deal, but problem solved. Printer has been purchased. I'm ready to go. But some of the old timers that can't let it go.
Woo, yeah.
Are they
Man, they
listening
were
to their
upset.
They were pissed. There's people that are dropping their subscriptions because this is blasphemy. This is over. So,
And the thing that really made me really laugh about it is, okay, so we get the electronic version quicker. So we found out about it before y'all found out about that it was, and for some reason that was a big deal. They thought, some people said, you should have emailed us and told us, but you read it in the issue just like we read it. Okay, that's what you do. And do like Lance, folks. Buy you a printer, print it. Apparently, it's going to be in a PDF format. All you got to do is push a button. It comes out. If you learn how to print on both sides, which is always it's among the mysteries of the world for me. So just to tell you that, I hate printers. But yeah, I mean, do it. And you know, not only that, we're talking about Meltzer and Alvarez, and Meltzer again with the Observer. And I actually reached out to Ed. For some reason, I thought Ed still got the print version, but he said he's been 5 or 6 years. I've been I think like the first couple of weeks when they started the online version, I did it. But Meltzer said something in the current issue. You want to make that joke about you hadn't got it yet and the Pony Express and all that? Yeah. I'll make that joke if you want. Yeah. But he talks about some people don't even follow wrestling anymore. They just read the Observer. But I remember one time I was not even watching wrestling, but I still was getting the Observer. Yeah. Meltzer has these trolls is the best word for it, I guess. Sure. They were blasting him.
Letting him have it.
For saying he rode a bicycle.
That's right. He rode a bike when he was like 11 to a wrestling show.
When he was 11 years, when he was a kid, he rode 11 miles to go to wrestling. Yeah. And he said he still does it sometimes today. And they were blasting him and calling him all kinds of names because he rode a bicycle. So, it's just crazy. And we'll talk about some of the trolls here in a minute,
it's
too.
The sky is blue theory. You know, Dave could say the sky is blue, and there's going to be the people coming out of the woodworks shaking their fists like, are you crazy? You're wrong.
And then there's going to be them people like Lance that says, you're right, Dave. The sky is blue.
Sky is indeed blue. Sky Blue. Speaking of Sky Blue, one of our breakout stars from that episode a few months ago.
All right.
So I'm wondering if
what was that called? A callback? Was that called?
That was a shout out, I think.
Shout out. Oh, man, I get it. Speaking of, we're going to do commercial break. And if you're watching it right now on any of the feeds, guess what? We're cutting it off. Go to Patreon and you watch the full episode. Well, you can listen to the full episode. The video is only for Patreon. The audio is free this month. And you can go to the main feed and listen to all the audio. But we're cutting it off right now. When we come back from commercial break, it is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Patreon members, we're also going to do, we do Dave's typos. And right after the commercial, we do halftime. There we go.
And you old-timer Observer listeners, you can listen to an 8-track tape.
There's only probably about 3 of y'all left, so there we go.